Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's get into the story. We are talking the backlash from the recent outburst that Judge Ratha had against Advocate Mnisi. Unfortunately, he included all black lawyers, or should I say black professionals, and the Law Society finally had a comment to say. And we also see the Portfolio Committee of Justice and Constitutional Development in Parliament also registering their dissatisfaction with the remarks and demanding that Judge Ratha apologize again to black professionals. Well, we'll take a look at the sentiments around this as well. And congratulations to Mnisi for qualifying for the Combrades while being a full-time lawyer, and then all of those that of course are taking part in this endurance race. Let's look at what it takes and the laws around the leave with Judge Ratha. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let's take a look.
Kind regards. Now this is what I talk about. Mr. Mnisi doesn't think he can write to me directly. He writes to me through my registrar, Ashley, and the lady in front here. This case, people are talking justice delayed, justice denied, 10 years, no justice, case is just dragging on. The family is distraught, the brothers, the relatives, even the accused themselves, they've been 2 to 3 years in custody. And here's this stupid judge called Ratha. You allow a person who's representing 2 of the accused here to go and run a marathon. This is South Africa, run by blacks. I can tell you now, even if you call me an Uncle Tom, I don't think a white advocate can have the gall to ask me that. Never.
That is totally regrettable and unfortunate, and actually something to be condemned in the strongest possible terms. Because to make remarks like that, and he's doing this for the second time, remember on the first occasion he apologized for making similar remarks. So it seems that this is something that he strongly believes in, the inferiority or difference of black people in general, or black lawyers.
All right.
And we cannot afford to have judges who can spew out racist remarks like that. Whether they are black or white, it doesn't matter.
The judge president said, I can see no misconduct by the judge in the circumstances of the case as viewed by many. What's your interpretation of it?
Look, I don't think that it rises to the level of serious misconduct, but maybe it does require the judge to withdraw the statement and apologize, because quite possibly there could be a case of misconduct, and I can see it fit in within Section 15 of the Judicial Service Commission Act, read with Article 9 of the Code of Conduct, which does say that a judge has to behave in a particular way, and if they don't behave in that way in court, then there might be a complaint filed with the Judicial Conduct Committee. Unfortunately, that complaint will have to be referred to the head of court for him to take action. And this is where also I think Judge Mlambo shouldn't made a comment on this, and should have waited at least until the complaint is filed or any other action is taken before he himself says something, because the complaint ultimately has to come back to him, if it is filed, that is. And so in this situation, he would not be entitled to deal with it because he's already made comments in public about it.
Well, there you have it. South African courts are busy, but nothing like there at Pretoria High Court. Now, Mnisi and Judge Ratha are always at each other, especially now that Mnisi is now representing accused number 1. Before, Mnisi was sometimes the favorite in that courtroom, but at the Senzo trial, when it comes to toxicity in the workplace, that High Court in Pretoria is definitely one of those places. We know that this is a contentious case, but the conduct of the judge, I won't even spare the lawyers themselves. They also go off, and as well as the witnesses. What a display. We saw a very contentious trial that brought us into the courts. That was the Oscar Pretorius case. But the judge there and the advocates there, they made us want to be lawyers. They were so into their craft, and it was never ever about playing the man. It was always about the law, the constitution, the law. You know, it was all about the profession. It was never personal tactics that came into play. But here we are in the North Gauteng High Court, where we see Judge Ratha personalizing this case. What are your thoughts on this toxic environment? We know that labor laws do protect the rest of us in normal 9 to 5s, but when it comes to the courtroom, how is it that the law cannot protect those in court? How does this work? Where is that Black Lawyers Association? Where is that, I think there's another group called Judges Matters. Where are they when it comes to the conduct of Judge Ratha? Is it because he is a retired judge? Now, when it comes to the Senzo Meyiwa trial itself, it is rigged with irregularities of all sorts, from the judges, from the lawyers, from the witnesses. Yay, it's a lot, but the trial continues. Let's see how far it will get. As it stands, it looks like it's just getting packaged for the next court, which is appeals court. Let me know what your thoughts on this matter. Please give this video a thumbs up. Wasn't this an issue for Chambers? And is it fair that Judge Ratha painted all the lawyers with one paint brush that are black instead of tackling the issue at hand?
Courtesy dictates that we communicate through the registrar and not directly with the judge, and I think that's what Advocate Mnisi had in mind. I think in instances where counsel wants to communicate directly with the judge, then a meeting will be arranged in chambers and all the parties will be there. But
So I'm not going to respond. If Mr. Mnisi doesn't want to come to court on Monday, that's his business. I will be in court. And the JP expects me to be in court.
Vacation leave is the same as annual leave. As an employee, you need to grant or apply for your leave before you take it. It is advisable that you ask for it well in advance, so it means that you need to plan properly for it so that you don't get disappointed on the 11th hour. Line managers will take into account business continuity before they grant the leave, so it has to be taken in line with what is happening in the organization. However, if it gets to a point whereby your line manager is constantly declining your annual leave, to a certain extent this can be seen as an unfair labor practice, because you are entitled to 21 consecutive days of leave annually as per the basic condition of employment. But no, you don't have to provide any proof or evidence of your annual leave. It's personal. You don't need to explain where you're going. You don't need to explain what you're going to do with your leave. Maybe you want to sleep, maybe you want to rest. So you are purely entitled to it, and you don't have to disclose, but you need to ask for it in advance.
Let me know what your sentiments are down below. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.